Hello, this is Brother Poole. Welcome to B250 Web Business. In this short video, I'm going to walk through a number of important housekeeping items that I want you to be aware of. I want you to be able to A, determine that this is the right class for you, and B, know how to be successful in this course. So let's dive right in. First off, I want you to understand this is not an independent study course. There is a very strict schedule that you'll need to follow. An independent study class is one that gives you all the material up front and then you work through it at your own pace. There's a very strict schedule. We'll have a lot of assignments due every week and a number of important projects. These projects build on one another, and a lot of times you need to have a certain amount of time pass between the assignments so that you can collect data and use that for the next upcoming assignment or project. Assignments are due weekly and are due oftentimes 3 to 4 times a week. In fact, it's rare that you won't have at least 4 assignments due each week, and they're due on specific days. And so you cannot work ahead in this course. You can't go on Monday and then do the entire week's worth of assignments. They're spaced out and only available for you at certain times. So for example, we'll have discussion boards that won't open until Tuesday and they'll close Wednesday night. So you have to do that assignment on Tuesday and Wednesday. Again, we have another one that will open Thursday and close Friday. They don't open early and they don't close late. And so you have to do your assignments during that time. So you need to be aware of that. If you turn in work late, assignments late, projects late, there will be up to a 20% deduction right off the top for late work. Now understand, I do not accept any late work on discussion boards. Discussion boards are meant to be a discussion. And if you post late, people have already stopped looking at it. And so what you're posting is not adding value to that discussion. So I don't accept any work late for discussion boards. No work will be accepted after 7 days past the due date. Now again, this is for everything except discussion boards. If you turn in an assignment after 8 days or 7 days have passed on the 8th day, I appreciate you turning it in, but you will get no credit for it. You'll get a 0 on that assignment. And so make sure that you turn in everything on time. Now, the only exceptions for late work are going to be for family tragedies or for extensive medical issues to where you find yourself in the hospital for multiple days. If any of that happens, please reach out to me as soon as possible and I will work with you. Other than that, it has to be turned in on time. Now, I understand that things happen. You get a boyfriend, you get a girlfriend, you get engaged, you get married, you break up with your boyfriend or you break up with your girlfriend. Now, all of those happy or sad events, those are called life. Okay, I don't give exceptions for it. I don't extend due dates for those type of things. That just happens. And you're expected to still continue to carry on in your life, but it's fun. Hopefully there are fun things that happen, but you still need to be able to accomplish everything or choose to take a 0 on an assignment. That's your determination to make, and you're welcome to make those, but don't ask for extended time just because you got married or you're getting engaged or you're going on vacation. I don't give extended time for that. That's something, if you want to go on a vacation, you're welcome to, but you'll either need to go to libraries, get internet access, complete the assignments, or be willing to go ahead and take 0s on some assignments. Now, this is a hands-on course that closely models the BYU learning model. It follows the BYU learning model, which is preparation, teaching one another, pondering, and proving out concepts. This is very much a hands-on course. Now, there will be a lot of discussions that take place in this course, and we will use the following boards. We use the course question and answer board, the weekly office hour boards, and the weekly discussion boards. There are a lot of students in this course, and so I'm really going to be relying on each of you to also help your classmates. What I need you to do is to all go and post your questions first on the course questions and answer board or the weekly office hour discussion boards. And then as you check them, if you see a question that you think you know the answer to, I would ask you to please answer that question. With all the students in this class, I can't get to everybody's question every time, but if you know the questions or know the answers to the questions, please, I would ask you to post the answer to that. Now, if you're not sure, just say something like, my best understanding is, and then go ahead and answer that question. I really appreciate your help that way. So as I mentioned here, please answer the questions and help out your fellow classmates. Check the boards often. I will be checking them on a daily basis, Monday through Friday. So please make sure to check them. Now, the good news is this course does not require a textbook. As many of you know, university courses require sometimes multiple textbooks, and each textbook can cost over $100. So the good news is that there is no textbook required. However, you will still be required to complete the course projects, which include items such as getting a domain name, getting a hosting provider, building a website, create and run a Google AdWords account, and all of these items cost money, or the majority of them will. And so the cost of this course will run around $100. So you need to have $100 available for this course. If you don't have $100, you'll need to talk to somebody about family assistance, maybe talk to family, see if they can help you out with it. If not, then you will want to look for a different course. You can kind of think of this as if you were taking a cabinet making woodworking course, to where the assignment for the class or the grade for the class was going to be determined on the final project, which is to build a nice entertainment center or a nice cabinet center. So the problem is, if you don't have the money for the wood, you can do the theory, you can take the tests, you can do all the work except for creating the actual cabinet. Well, the problem is when the professor comes to grade, there's no cabinet to grade. You say, well, I didn't have the money for the wood. Well, I understand that. Trust me, I've been a student. For many years, I was a student. I understand that money is incredibly tight. However, you've got to be able to buy the wood to build to build the project so that there's something for the professor to grade. And it's the same thing here. Is you're going to need to be able to get the domain name, a hosting provider, build the website, create and run a Google AdWords account, which takes money. So all of these cost money, and so you need to be aware of that. The cost of this course will run around $100. Now, all course questions need to be posted to the course general comment and question board first, or the weekly office hour board. The reason for that is because I'm going to be checking those boards at least once each day, Monday to Friday. Now I'm going to ask that you do this as well. It's okay to agree or disagree with your fellow students. That's fine. However, you must be respectful when disagreeing or when agreeing. What you would do is say, I disagree because of why you disagree, and then give a reason to back what you're disagreeing with. So I disagree with whatever it is, and this is why. Then give some reasoning behind why you're disagreeing. That's okay to disagree. That's great. It creates discussion, but be respectful when you do this. Now, I want to back up real quick on the posting questions. If you have a personal question or a question that contains personal information that you prefer not to share with the class, please email me directly. You're welcome to email me. That's fine, especially if the question's on a contains personal information. Please make sure to understand you're welcome to email me. But if it's just a general course question, please post it on the boards, because odds are this is a big enough class. If you have that question, somebody else is going to have that question too. So if you can post it and then we get it answered, somebody else can follow that question thread on the discussion board, and have their question answered. So I really appreciate if you'll do that. Now, I require that you use correct English and not texting abbreviations like LOL in this class. This is a university course, and so you're expected to perform at a university level. And so when you're posting on the discussion boards now, an occasional smiley face or something like that is fine. You'll see me do that occasionally. However, you need to be using correct English, not LOL, not texting abbreviations. Now, however, I want you to make sure you understand this is not an English class. I'm not going to be grading like you would if this was an English course. I have a lot of students, and there will likely be students this semester in our course that are not from the United States. I have students from South and Latin America all the time, Central America. I have students from Ghana oftentimes. Students from all over the world, and oftentimes these people do not have English as their first language, and that's okay. I'm not saying that you have to make sure to use technically correct English and making sure that your verbs are correct, your nouns are correct. You just do the best you can, especially if English is not your first language, is your second language. However, I would just ask again that you try to be as professional as possible by not using slang and texting abbreviations, but understand all I'm saying is do your best. So don't worry about it if English is not your first language. You'll be just fine in this class. Let's talk about late work. First off, late work, you will get up to a 20% deducted right off the top for late work. Now, I do not accept late work for discussion boards. Discussion boards you have to do in the time frame that the board's open. If you post after the end date of the discussion boards remain accessible. But if you post, let's say on the Tuesday, Wednesday discussion board, if you post on Thursday, I'm not going to count that post towards credit. Now you're welcome to post, but it's not going to count as a post that I will use when grading the assignment. Those have to be done within the time frame of the discussion board. So discussion boards are usually Tuesday and Wednesday, and then another one opens for Thursday, Friday. So you need to make sure you get those in. Now, the only exception for late work and not having the points deducted is going to be for family tragedies or for a medical emergency. So if you find yourself in the hospital for, more than just going in for the flu, but if you find yourself in the hospital or a family member, close family members in the hospital that you have to help with, or a family tragedy, you need to let me know as soon as possible, and I will work with you in those situations. So again, late work will not be accepted 7 days past the due date, and I don't accept any late work for discussions. Again, the exception is for medical emergencies and family tragedies. So let's talk about my office hour. My office hour starts at 5 p.m. Mountain Time on every Wednesday. So on Wednesday, I will be in my virtual office hour. You get there by going to in iLearn, clicking on the instructor information, and then there'll be a link to my office, to my virtual office hour. So you'll come in there, you'll click on that, you'll log in as a guest, put in your name, and so you don't try to log in using your BYU credentials. It won't work. So log in as a guest, put in your name, join up, and we will have a discussion. I'll answer questions, anything you have. Now, I usually will be there from at least 5 to 5:15. If nobody is coming after about 5:15, then oftentimes I will go ahead and just leave a message saying nobody showed up. If you have questions, please post them to the office hour discussion board and I'll answer them that way. If you're going to come and you have a question, but you can't get there till 5:30, email me and let me know, hey, I'm coming, I've got some questions, but I can't get there till 5:30. Then I know to stick around because somebody's going to be coming. However, oftentimes I've got a lot of other items I'm going to be doing, and so if no one's showing up, I'm going to go ahead and move on and get some other items done. So please watch also for weekly announcements. I send out weekly announcements, very important information you will need to be successful for that week. So please watch for them and read them. Traps I saw students fall into last semester. Again, I want everybody in this class to get an A. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that in the years that I've taught this, but I would love to do that. So let me tell you some traps I saw people fall into and students fall into from the last semesters that I've taught this. First off is they miss the easy points. There's a lot of things like our weekly reflection report and just participating in the discussion boards. These are easy points. Please don't miss them. They turn in work late or not at all. You're going to miss points. If you miss points, you're not going to get a good grade. Most of the projects and assignments, a lot of assignments have spreadsheets that you have to download, fill out, and submit back. Most of these, if not all of them, have multiple pages and sheets within that spreadsheet. So make sure to get all of the sheets done, not just the first sheet. Projects are very important in this class and worth a ton of points. Now, the good news is we don't have quizzes or tests in this course except for the syllabus quiz. Other than that, we don't have any tests, which are great. You don't have to study and try to memorize things for tests. Instead, what we have is a lot of work, a lot of assignments, and a lot of projects. So you're going to have to accomplish those because that's where the points are, especially the projects. They're worth a lot of points, and you have to do them in order to get credit for this course so that you can get a good grade. Now, let's talk about online instructors. A lot of you guys out there may be taking an online course for the first time. So I want to give you a little information about online instructors. We are a little different than a on-campus instructor, and the things that we can do are different than what an on-campus instructor can do. So you can kind of think of us as more of facilitators and somebody assisting and trying to help you to get through this course. I don't actually create the course. I am what they call the online course representative for all the sections of this course taught online. So what that means is I try to suggest changes, suggest updates to the course. Sometimes the suggestions are taken, sometimes they're not. But I didn't actually write the curriculum. My goal and my job is to help facilitate that. And you need to understand, I would ask that you would understand that most online professors, if not all of us, are part-time. We all have a full-time job, and most of us do. I have a full-time job. I also have a church calling. I have a family to take care of. Therefore, we are very busy. And trust me, I recognize the same thing about many of you. We will find that the majority of people in this class are what they kind of consider non-traditional students. They're people with families and full-time jobs, and you have church callings, and you have families to take care of. I recognize that and I appreciate that. When I was working on my master's, I was a full-time student while I was working full-time with a family with children with special needs. I understand the stress and the requirements and the demands on your time when you're going through school, and my hat's off to you. I think it's wonderful that you're doing this and that you're trying to better yourself and better your future. I think it's great. So I understand that. Understand, though, that instructors were very busy. However, we love teaching and helping students. That's why I do this. Trust me, they don't pay us very much, but I love doing this. This is why I've done it for so many years, is I just love helping students and love teaching. I do the majority of my teaching and answering my emails after 5 p.m. I work full time. I work usually 10, 11, 12-hour days. And then after that is when I do a lot of my teaching, and my emails are after 5 p.m. Now, my goal is to answer all the emails within 24 hours that you send me. However, it will likely not be the same day. So if assignments due that day, don't email me and say, I need the answer by tonight so I can get this in, because it's probably not going to happen. You need to look ahead and you need to make sure that you're planning and that type of thing. So if you ask me a question, I will try to get it within 24 hours. But if you ask me on a Friday, you're probably not going to get an answer till Monday. I try to answer within 24 hours through the week, but if you ask me again on a weekend, I probably won't get back to it until on Monday. Well, I want to thank you again for your opportunity I have to be able to have you in my course. I'm excited. I love teaching web business. I've been involved in web business now for well over a decade. I've been doing this full time since 2002, and even before that, I was doing it part-time. I love web business, and I love the opportunity to work with you. Thanks so much for joining me, and I look forward to a great semester.